Hi Taurus, what's up y'all? Welcome to the channel. Welcome back. Happy birthday. Happy Thursday. I hope you all are doing amazing and enjoying our birthday season. Let's get into what you need to hear today. You know, this card wanted to come out in the pre-shuffle, so I'm going to take it because it just tried to come out again. Some of you could be 37 years old. It says you're doing the inner work. Become more self-aware, be authentic and resilient, cultivate deep inner peace, and heal past trauma and wounds. So some of you are doing some shadow work. I like it. You know, there could be a lot of things coming up from your past, a lot of residual pain, lessons that you've learned, maybe the hard way. Some of you are starting to really recognize, you know, this is big too. When you start to recognize like your own shortcomings as opposed to looking at the world out there and pointing fingers. But when you really start to look at yourself, that's when you're getting ready to turn the corner. That's big. Okay. We have lovesick, number 55, controlling partnership, jealous of your success, keeps you beneath them, wants you to put them first. For some of you, it could be that you're coming out of a relationship here that has forced you to look at your own demons. And why I say this is big is because, again, you could easily point your finger at this other person, but sometimes you just got to recognize that people were put on your path to make you see the error of your own ways. You know, a lot of self-reflecting, a lot of self-assessment, and it was due to a relationship. Some of you could be missing someone, but that's pushing you to do some triggering shadow work. Because maybe you're trying to figure out, why am I missing this person if they were not the healthiest for me? Okay, what else? We have undressing, number 39. Made to feel weak, feeling exposed and vulnerable, superficial needs and attention, exposes oneself to wrong people. Yeah, see? So I feel like this could be you being very vulnerable with yourself. You could be undressing. Being transparent with yourself. Being transparent with yourself. I feel like I could easily make this reading be about this other person. I don't feel like I'm supposed to. I feel like this is, for some of you, somebody has pushed you to the brink of maybe even insanity. You know what I'm saying? Like where you just felt like, who am I? You know what I mean? But sometimes those people are your greatest teachers. It says you feel exposed and vulnerable. So this could be something that really stripped you down to, I'm getting like the star card, but I'm seeing it in reverse. And the star card in reverse talks about our inner demons. And the other side of this card actually says inner demons. That can talk about, maybe there's somebody who has fallen from grace in your eyes. Or maybe you fell from grace in your own eyes. You know what I mean? Feeling very uninspired, unmotivated, despair, hopelessness. There could be something like that, like a crisis of consciousness. I'm almost getting like, for some of you, this could be a fresh breakup. And you know how you waver when you're going through the 12 stages of grief, right? I don't know all of them, but I know that denial is one of the first ones because you don't want to believe something. I feel like you might be past the denial stage, but you could be right after the denial stage, and you could be going back and forth between the stage you're on and the denial stage. Let me look at something. Because I feel like this is very relevant, and I want to make my point, and I want it to sound cohesive. It makes sense. Okay. So let's see. Okay, the 12 stages are grief. The first one is shock. The second is denial. And then the third is guilt. So you might be stuck on the guilt stage. So let's go through the ones you may have experienced. All right. If you had a loss of any kind, it feels like a relationship though. It says an initial feeling of numbness and disbelief. And then number 2 is the denial stage, struggling to accept the reality of the loss. And then the third is guilt, feeling responsible or regretful about the loss. Okay. Then it's anger, fear, despair, resentment, hope, rejection, relief, acceptance, and resolution. Okay. I think I'm going to make some cards that reflect those stages. That gave me an idea. Okay, so yeah, so this could be that you, I don't know, undressing could be you peeling back the layers and trying to figure out why you feel guilty. I'm gonna tell y'all, I used to go to therapy, and my therapist told me something about women. She was a woman, obviously. Right? She said that women make decisions from a place of compassion, where men don't. Men assert themselves. If they say no, they mean no. Where a woman, if she says no, there's a second thing that comes after that, and she said it's guilt. So this can really affect you more if you are a woman, but it doesn't have to be that you're a woman. Some men are in touch with their feminine side, divine feminine energy. So you could be a man, but I feel like there's something here that's kind of like stripping you down to like bare bones. I'm just hearing bare bones. Okay. Some of you could be 39. Maybe you're about to turn 40, or maybe you just recently turned 40. Yeah, you got martyr here, number 2. Endures great pain, seeks sympathy or pity, sacrifices life for beliefs, and suffers for the sake of others. Yeah, number 2. Number 2 is the high priestess. And this is like what I just said about the therapist, where you feel like you've done something wrong because you set proper boundaries. Like that could be something that you have struggled with, but I feel like you are trying to push through it. You're really figuring out here, why do I fall for people's sob stories? You know what I mean? Like, why do I have so much empathy and compassion for people even when they don't have it for me? Why am I so self-sacrificing? Why have I been so self-sacrificing? Because I feel like it's past tense. And this is about your intuition. Like I said, this is the high priestess number. That can talk about blocked intuition, because this card is in reverse. The lady's face is in reverse. Whereas this way, she would be obviously the high priestess in the upright. So that can be that for some of you, not listening to your instincts when you meet people, ignoring red flags, ignoring the yellow flags, you know, and not looking for someone who brings you those green flags, because that's what we should really be searching for. And partners, people who make us feel secure, and not working with potential, not giving people the benefit of the doubt, but maybe you have done that. You have stressed here, number 33, burnout, fatigue, reacting with sensitivity, stress interfering with your life, and worried of others' opinions. Yeah, confirmation, number 33 is the Christ consciousness number. It's in reverse. So there's something here that has triggered you spiritually, because we started with the energy that feels like the star. This is the high priestess. The number 33 is Christ consciousness, but it's in reverse. So let me look at my notes here, because y'all know I don't commit stuff to memory. I don't know why. But the Christ consciousness number is the master teacher. And like I said, some of these people can be your biggest teachers. I said that. Even if they're distorted. Okay. So that's about compassion, bravery, courage, discipline, honesty, inspiration, blessings, and all things are possible, which is also the message of the star. The star is connected to your spirit guides. It's connected to your faith and your spirituality. It's about guidance and obviously Christ consciousness. Okay. So somebody has triggered some kind of awakening, or is triggering an awakening in you. It feels like a relationship. Let's get a love message or two. What you got here? You got pony ride. Number 27 could be significant. We have June 5th through June 10th. That is Gemini season. Could be a Gemini you're connected to, or something about that time frame could be significant. We have in the distant future as your message. And it says here, naivete or immaturity in matters of love requires gentle care and understanding. Puppy love, feeling thrills, innocent affection, needs to grow up and gain life experience independently. It could be a younger person you were dealing with. Could be that for some of you, you're going back to your wonder years. You're going back to your youth, your first time falling in love, and you're identifying patterns. Okay. Could be that this is the first time that you are single, maybe in a long time. And you could be really just kind of like retraining your brain is kind of what I'm getting, like a new, fresh perspective on love, on yourself. So there's a lot of inner child healing I feel like you're doing right now because of this situation that you've been through. This is all about love. All right, so we have spinning teacup. We got October the 15th through the 20th. I believe that's Libra season. Yeah, it is. We have yes and a need to slow down. Number 49. That could be somebody's age. You could be born on the 27th. You could be 27. You could be born on the 2nd. You could be 39, 55, 37. So we have being with you is such a vibe. Even though certain things keep coming up for us, I know we'll be able to work things out because we're together. So this could be that you and somebody need to go your separate ways right now, need to do some independent healing, and then you two will come back together if that's what you want. We got bumper cars. If we want to work this out, we need to find common ground and recognize that our differences can bring unique perspectives to the table. September the 21st through the 26th, that is technically the end of Virgo season, the beginning of Libra season. Somebody could be on the Virgo Libra cusp, and we have maybe and set clear boundaries with the number 45 here. So yeah, somebody is teaching you, or you're teaching somebody. I don't know. You both could be teaching each other about boundary setting, about respecting the other's point of view. I feel like there could be an age difference though. All right, so let's see what's going on with this inner work. Some of you are identifying patterns of codependency. Maybe like when you leave relationships, maybe you start talking to other people and you don't give yourself time to heal. That could be what it is for some of you. It doesn't have to be, but that could be what it is. A lot of self-sacrificing that you do when you're in connections. You could lose yourself in love, in relationships. And this could also just be somebody around you. So just take it how it resonates, y'all. The lovers. Wow. Yeah, this is very strong soulmate energy. This is like your other half, twin flame energy. It could be a Gemini, or you could be on the Taurus Gemini cusp. This also talks about the ultimate choice, and it also talks about vulnerability and transparency. And that is literally what I was talking about over here. Well, no, it says feeling exposed and vulnerable. You see how they're looking at each other? But the thing about this card is that these two are like the other half of each other. So it's like looking at yourself in the mirror. And look at how they're looking at each other. I mean, it's somebody looking at themselves in the mirror, looking at their dark side. So this could definitely be somebody that brings this out of you. Oh, I got the card facing the wrong way. Who brings this out of you? You got the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck. That's conflict, clash of egos. And then you got the Page of Pentacles, learning lessons. Again, being teachable, being open-minded. The pages are all about being open-minded. Also, there could be an age difference. It could be a younger earth sign. You could be the younger earth sign. Maybe dealing with a Gemini or whomever you're dealing with. There feels like there's an age difference. So it says controlling partnership, jealous of your success, keeps you beneath them and wants you to put them first. Now, that doesn't sound like a twin flame. Twin flames don't operate like that. Maybe it's a false twin. Could be a soulmate. Could just be a karmic soulmate. Okay. But this person came to teach you some lessons, because the page of, oh no, I'm sorry, y'all. This is the Page of Pearls. This is the Page of Cups. Yeah, that's definitely like young love, inexperienced love. What it talked about here. Naivete or immaturity in matters of love. That's what the Page of Cups represents. So I don't know if you're older or younger than this person, but there could be an age difference. And I've been telling y'all this basically all of 2024, 2025, that I feel like you're dealing with somebody. I say they could be short in stature, because the pages they will represent somebody who's young or could possibly be short. Okay. Or just immature, you know. So this could be somebody who really does have sweet feelings for you, but they're not as evolved as yours are for them. And this is the reason why you're doing this. But the Page of Cups also represents inner child healing, reflecting on your youth, your childhood, and maybe looking at it from a fresh perspective and seeing the error of your own ways. Because I don't feel like this has anything to do with the other person as much as it's about you. We got a younger Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and then we have Gemini energy. What else is going on here? Every time I say that, I feel like Cynthia from the Real Housewives. So what else is going on here? All right, we got the Page of Swords. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy, another page, okay? This could be somebody you've known since you were younger as well. You could have grown up with them. Could be like your first love, high school sweetheart, somebody that, you know, you have a lot of history with, and you got the Justice card. I feel like some of you are making peace with yourself. I feel like you are reflecting, and you're like really doing like a deep dive, because the Page of Swords is very attentive to detail, going through things with a fine-tooth comb. It's problem solving, it's thinking on your feet. And I feel like there's a lot of reflecting here about why things have been the way they have been in love for you. And the Justice card is kind of giving me that moving forward, you're going to start to give as good as you get. You're in a headspace either right now or future, because she is facing the future. A lot of your time right now could be just on reflecting, doing this inner work, and really getting to the bottom of like why your relationships have been what they've been. And moving forward, you're demanding reciprocity, balance, harmony, honesty, integrity, fairness. You want things to be fair. And I feel like you are also learning how, when it comes to communication, you're fighting fair. You can realize that you haven't always fought fair. Maybe when you get upset, there could be a tendency maybe to be maybe a little childish. I don't know. If this is not the person you're dealing with, it could be you. Because it says you're doing the inner work. Inner work is not about someone else. And based on these cards, it feels like you could be really looking back to your childhood, your wounds from childhood, your relationships starting from an early age. And you're like working through and bringing it up to date. And moving forward, this is how you can really balance these scales. Some of you also could have a really optimistic attitude when it comes to love. The Justice card can sometimes talk about blind faith. You know, the Lady of Justice, she is blind faith. She has to hear both sides of an argument. Some of you are maybe a bit too diplomatic when you meet people. You just give them the benefit of the doubt. She also represents the benefit of the doubt. And taking people at face value. And that could be the thing that you're now thinking, I'm going to be a little bit slower, a little bit more guarded. The Page of Swords is guarded. I feel like you're dating intentionally moving forward. But it's going to start with you continuing to work through your abandonment wounds, your inner child wounds, and things of that nature. Yeah, the Ace of Swords. So you're definitely problem solving right now. And I say this is like knowing is half the battle, because this is situational awareness and deductive reasoning. Yeah, with the Tower. So I feel like you're definitely looking back at like moments in your life where you got it wrong and why you got it wrong. Okay. Could even be your parents' relationship showing up here. What's going on with undressing? The Seven of Wands, defensive energy, stubborn energy, standing your ground. I tell you what, Taurus, you might be really, really sweet, but when somebody pisses you off, I feel like you really definitely give them a piece of your mind. It's the bull thing, when you poke the bull. I know y'all have seen the matador, provoking, antagonizing the bull. And the bull really just be trying to mind his own business. Even when it's being provoked, it might like attempt to run after the matador, but it will stop as almost like a warning, you leave me alone. And I know I'm like this. Like, you don't always have to be confrontational. I'm not a confrontational person. Well, let me stop lying. I can be. It depends. It depends on what is provoking me. But it usually is going to come after I've tried a peaceful thing. I try to be peaceful with you. I try to be, play past whatever foolishness you were doing. But if you keep poking and poking and poking, eventually you're going to get poked back. It's kind of what I'm getting here. So that could be somebody who really triggers you and puts you in this very defensive energy. This also talks about being territorial, feeling like the underdog here. So you can feel really counted out in a situation, but you're too stubborn to fall. Look how she's standing. She's underwater and she's standing. A mermaid is standing. And she got this wand in her hand, willing to defend herself. Because this is when a lot of people are coming at you and you feel backed in the corner. And, it's like I said, the bull reference, even when the bull starts to, people say they're running with the bull. But when it starts to trample over people, it's like, yeah, it's not fun anymore. You know what I mean? It's not fun. So what's going on with martyrdom? We have the Judgment card. Okay, so the Judgment card is Scorpio energy, it's Pluto energy. Okay, so it says, endures great pain, seeks sympathy or pity, sacrifices life for beliefs, and suffers for the sake of others. The Judgment card is, I feel like you calling judgment on that, and also you realizing that your life is about more than other people. You know what I mean? Like, I've been talking a lot this month about us celebrating ourselves, our birthday, and cutting off people who are not showing up for you. I feel like that's where you are right now. You're no longer going to be martyring yourself. You're calling judgment on that. The Judgment card talks about self-assessing. Same thing we already talked about. It's a card of reflection. It's a card of homesickness, but it's not homesickness. You got lovesick here. It's not homesickness for a lover, for another person. It's for yourself, for your higher self. This is an awakening that you're going through. And I feel like you're fighting tooth and nail for yourself, even if it's difficult. The Seven of Wands talks about getting success and protecting it. So for some of you, I feel like the shadow work you've already done, you're pushing yourself beyond whatever guilt you might be feeling in the 12 stages of grief. The next stage is anger. The Seven of Wands can be conflict. It can be standing up and fighting your, being defensive and fighting for yourself. So that could be what's showing up here. A part of your critical thinking, right? Because this talks about common sense. It's just prudence. So it talks about using common sense. And so your approach to something moving forward might be, you know what? Okay, maybe I did feel guilty, but no, I was right. I was right to stand up. I was right to tell them I'm not going to just be friends with benefits anymore. I was right to tell them I'm not going to tolerate emotional, physical, mental abuse anymore. I was right to say that. I'm calling judgment on it, and I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. You know what I mean? So the Judgment card also is karma, is retribution. So like I said with the the Justice card being at the bottom of the deck, coming out right here, I said it could be that you are basically returning the favor. It could, no, I'm sorry, that was for Leo. But same message, because it's here again. The Judgment card and the Justice card are both about karma. I also feel like some of you are realizing that your decisions, this is about decisions. Your decisions have been very rooted in possibly people pleasing. Okay, if you feel like this is not you, that's fine, flip it. But not paying attention to your own intuition here. Not trusting your instincts when you saw red flags, like I said. But not moving forward. Moving forward, you're like, no. If you meet new people, you got the Seven of Pentacles. You could be born May 1st through May 10th. I'm sorry, May 11th through May 20th. And then the Three of Wands. Yeah, moving forward. Definitely moving forward. And this is you rethinking something from the past. Having second thoughts about it. Realizing your value, realizing your worth, wanting to grow, wanting to expand. Both of these cards are about growth. You could have just simply outgrown someone. Or you're too grown to be dealing with whatever this mess is. Yeah, the Emperor, you're too grown. Okay, what's going on with undressing with the Seven of Wands? But like I said, it could also be you. This can represent jumping to conclusions, preconceived notions about people. Now, that could simply be trusting people too soon, which is martyrdom here. Misjudging people. But it could also be for some of you, you're looking at on the shadow side of yourself. You could possibly be looking at your defense mechanisms. How you might hit below the belt sometimes, because this can talk about wanting forgiveness. Okay, so it could be that as well. Like I said, this is stubborn energy, and we know we're stubborn. All right, what's going on with the Seven of Wands and the Judgment card? These cards are so pretty. You got the Queen of Wands. Dark feminine energy. It keeps coming out. So I like this. So what you're doing as you're stripping yourself down, you have like a righteous rage about yourself. I feel like the Seven of Wands is righteous rage. It's like, I'm not going to mistreat anybody who doesn't mistreat me. But if you mistreat me, you're going to get mistreated too. Okay. The Queen of Wands is independent, self-sufficient. She's a natural born leader. She's somebody that's comfortable in her skin. And so this could be some of you undressing, learning to truly love your body, love yourself inside and out, especially out though, because she represents the ego. She represents the physical self. This is Aries and Mars. And Aries and Mars is all about the ego, the self that we present to the world. They are it's the house of self. The house of the self or self, whatever, however they say it. So this is like an ego boost. It's like something here I feel like is making you feel very resilient. This is Leo Mars energy. So you got a lot of Mars energy showing up here. And Scorpio, although this is Pluto, Scorpio is also co-ruled by Mars. So there's a lot of fiery energy. This is fire energy. This is connected to the summer. Wow. There could be something playing out in Leo season. In particular, August the 1st through the 10th. Am I saying that right? No, August the 12th through the 22nd. I don't know why I'm saying dates wrong. August 12th through the 22nd. There's something showing up here. And I've been telling y'all, Leo season, you could be meeting an emperor. Or some of you are just making an executive decision to block someone, to cut someone off. Okay. Yeah, the Nine of Wands. A lot of like defensive, guarded energy. That's the wounded warrior in ongoing battle. Something is coming to an end. What's going on with endures great pain? Yeah, that is the wounded warrior. He makes sacrifices for other people as well. And it does say sacrifice your life for your beliefs and suffers for the sake of others. Some of y'all are the wounded warrior. But something is changing here. You're becoming this Queen of Wands. Fired up, unapologetically you, loving yourself, flaws and all. Walking in the room and stealing the show. The Two of Swords. So it's falling under the Judgment card, which is about decision making. This is a difficult decision. So, you know, this also talks about like how I talked about blind faith. I see this as blind faith too. You can have a Libra moon placement. And this card can talk about ignoring red flags, things that you should be paying attention to, like turning a blind eye to it, being obtuse, being checked out and not wanting to deal with reality. It talks about being at a stalemate with someone. So you could just be realizing that there's something here that you just have to call off, and you're going to do it with a lot of confidence with the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is moxie. You can also be turning a lot of your attention more towards yourself, your self-care, your beauty regimen, your business, your money making, because she's an enterprising woman. And if you're a man, it's fine as well. Okay, so what's going on with this naive energy? We got the Two of Wands. This is being at a crossroads. So let's see what this card says again. Requires gentle care and understanding, naivete or immaturity in matters of love, puppy love, feeling thrills, innocent affection, needs to grow up and gain life experience independently. Okay, it says the distant future. Well, the Two of Wands is not the distant future. This is actually the near future. It's like a right now. This is 2 days. Okay, so some of you are at a crossroads with somebody who, like I said, could be a Gemini, or they're very immature. You could be just giving them space to grow up. And even if you are younger than them, maybe you're still more mature than them. This Two of Wands talks about you looking at the future potential between you and another person. Because this is like dating, getting to know someone. So this part might be a little bit different for those of you who are married or in a long-term commitment. This feels more new. Again, this is like when you know somebody enough to know their routine. Like, you know that they work from, 9 to 5. You know that. You've already had those discussions. You've already established something. Probably intimacy as well. But this Two of Wands is like you trying to figure out, should you continue to invest in this person? And like I said, the Seven of Pentacles came out. And that is about reflecting and like reviewing the past. Like, is this a good investment for me? Should I put all my eggs in this basket, or should I maybe think about another option here? Some of you could definitely be in two minds about something when it comes to making a decision, because you feel like you have to sacrifice too much to be with someone. Okay, what else? What's going on with the Two of Wands? That's Aries, Mars energy, and again, so definitely a lot of Mars showing up here. You got the Five of Swords in reverse. Okay, so it says, being with you is such a vibe, even though certain things keep coming up for us. I know we'll be able to work things out because we're together. Well, the Five of Cups and Five of Swords in reverse is working things out. Now, it can also be a power struggle. It can represent hate. It can represent ambush. But it can also represent that somebody wants to compromise with you, call a truce with you. And I kind of feel like leaving somebody to their devices might push them to actually level up here. The only thing is, this person is giving me a bit of narcissistic traits here. Now, could this simply be that they're old? I mean, that they're younger and you're older than them? You got these pages here. I'm not seeing any kings. I see a queen, but I don't see any kings. And then the Emperor tried to come out, but it didn't come out. Bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Cups. Scorpio, Venus energy. So this is Aquarius, Venus energy. So now we got Venus, all that Mars and Venus. So yeah, that's definitely like energy that can complement or clash. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So there's something about the feminine principle here. You can be divine feminine even if you are a man, so just take it how it resonates. Something needs to be balanced though. So the divine masculine needs to step up. Like I said, the emperor kept trying to come out, but it didn't come out. And that's divine masculine energy. So the Seven of Cups talks about picking and choosing. It talks about procrastination, right? This card says that you too can reach a common ground if you recognize that your differences can bring unique perspectives to the table. So some of you are just really asking yourself, should you continue to invest? The sevens, you got the Seven of Pentacles before, you got the Seven of Cups here, you got the Seven of Wands here. You could be saying 777. But the number 7 is all about reflection, and it's also a number of pause. It's an inactive card. It's an inactive number. It means that nothing is happening, just somebody's thinking about something happening. What's going to happen moving forward. Okay, and this is about picking and choosing. It is about multiple choices and options. So some of you could just be wanting to keep your options open here. Maybe you're like, I'm done with this bumpy ride that I've been on with this bumper cars here. You might not want to work it out with them. But it is a card of procrastination, confusion, illusions, dreaming, daydreaming. That could also be idealism. So with these pages being here, you could be looking at your idealistic nature. You could have a lot of water in your chart. What's going on with the love-sick energy and the inner work? Oh, that's too many. Something really has you in your head, but it's because you're working through it. You got another Seven of Cups showing up here. That's the last card you just got. So again, that's the energy of idealizing. That's what some of you are working through. Having on rose-colored glasses, being in la-la land when it comes to love. It's showing up with lovesick. So it's definitely giving, it says dream on. It's definitely giving me that, I call it the trapeze lover. And I forget what the real name of it is. Monkey branching. It's called monkey branching. And I always talk about this with Jennifer Lopez. Maybe you have Leo in your chart, or there's a Leo in your energy. She's a Leo. But you know, Jennifer Lopez never stays single. She goes from one. I talked about that earlier in this reading. Like, you might break up with people and jump into another relationship. Like a fear of being alone could be showing up here for you. And like I said, if it's not you, it could be somebody you're connected to. Somebody who likes like the highs of life, the highs of love. But when the reality kicks in, because this is illusions, fantasy land, when the reality kicks in, first argument happens. This person to check out. Oh, I ain't signed up for this. It's just supposed to be fun. Well, it's not fun. Love is, it has ebbs and flows like everything else. This could also be somebody who likes to keep their options open. So maybe for some of you, like I said, you could be exploring other options. Maybe it's time for you to, maybe you've already done your inner work, or you could attract people who get bored easily with these pages here. Six of Pentacles, reciprocity. This is also breadcrumbing though. It's kind of giving me breadcrumbing. You could attract people who breadcrumb you. This is May 1st through May 10th. Some of you could be coming out of a 6-year or 7-year relationship, or there could be a 6 or 7-year age difference between you and another person. I heard 11 years as well. Yeah, this is about equal give and take and reciprocity, but you see one person is a charity case, the other person is giving them, I mean, you know, this is representing a homeless person, and this is a businessman giving them food or a sandwich or whatever this is. Could even be money. This card talks about generosity, and it does talk about charity, and sometimes I do see it as a charity case. Yeah, some of you could definitely date below your threshold. Well, I don't know. Below your value, your worth, or maybe you have in the past. It's like somebody here could maybe not be applying themselves. To get another message from this though, for some of you, if this is about work, because the Six of Pentacles can be what you do for work. If you feel like you're not being valued, you could be looking into other job opportunities. It's kind of giving me, he's looking at the classifieds here. You know, so you could be doing that. You could be just like, it's time for me to move on. Some of you have a wealth of knowledge. I'm looking at this bookcase behind him. So I feel like you have a lot to offer. You have a lot of expertise, a lot of experience. And it could simply be that you're in a space right now where you're thinking about doing something different. You could be thinking about going back to school. The Page of Swords is a student. He's curious. He also represents searching, investigating. You could be thinking about doing something online as well. Some of you are creators with the Page of Cups showing up here. Somebody could work for the judicial system as well. But it's definitely giving me that you haven't always dated people who have given you the same energy and effort that you've given to them. The Six of Pentacles normally has the scales of justice, just like the Justice card, because it is about balance. And like I said, equal give and take. So this is what you're doing. Some of you are trying to figure out, why do you miss people even when they weren't offering you anything? Because sometimes, let me tell you, when you look back on relationships, you might feel that way sometimes. Like, why did I lose sleep over that person? Hold on, y'all. Okay, yeah. But like I was saying, sometimes you look back and you're like, why did I lose sleep over this person? I was the prize in the relationship. You know what I mean? Like, you might be just realizing that. That's what your inner work is showing you, that you were the prize. Because you're doing something here where you're digging deep. The Lovers in these pages shows me you digging deep, and there will be a resolution to this with the Justice card. There will be some balance restored to your life. Okay. Some of you could also be going through a divorce here. When I'm looking at this controlling partnership, the Page of Swords represents a contract between two people. The Lovers represents a contract between two people. And the Page of Cups is all about our heart, love, emotions. So this Justice card could simply be, for some of you, you could even just be putting your foot down, letting your demands be known. And I'm going to use the word demands because that's what it feels like. I've been giving, and I need to receive. Okay. So what's going on with undressing with the Seven of Wands? And you can feel very defensive because, like I said, the next stage for you is anger. You got the Six of Wands, and that's interesting. You got the Seven of Wands here. I told you this is you getting a victory and protecting it. So I feel like what's happening here is you're really discovering that you are the prize. This talks about pride, being on a pedestal, being the pride and joy of another person, or just getting a lot of attention. But I don't feel like your energy is for everybody. You're like, no, I'm going to reserve this for the person that's meant for me. Your how do we say this? Your critical thinking skills are showing up here with the Judgment card and the Two of Swords. It's giving me that even though there could be people that are going to test you, you know, and that's how life goes when we are in a period of transition. The universe will let tests come our way to see if we really learned our lesson, you know. And so you'll meet somebody and they'll start to remind you of all of the things you said you weren't going to fall for before. Somebody could be an athlete here. I'm seeing Michael Jordan, number 23 could be significant. I'm seeing Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird. This is Leo Jupiter energy. This talks about being in the spotlight here. For some of you, there could be a high profile person coming towards you, but you just going to have to make sure that you stick, because this is high profile energy as well. Or you could be a high profile person. You could be an influencer, content creator, or something like that. You know what I'm getting to? I just talked about a fall from grace. This card in reverse is a fall from grace. I feel like there could be somebody, I don't know, somebody trying to humble you. That could be what it is too. For some of you, you could attract people that see you as larger than life, and they try to humble you. Because this is somebody, this card talks about living in the moment, giving life all you have. Again, being unapologetically you. So there could be people that you meet, romantic partners in particular I'm talking about, who try to humble you because they're not doing as well as you. And they expect you to martyr yourself. And maybe you have been doing that. Maybe you've been misjudging situations and you've been doing that. And like I said, ignoring red flags with people. So again, there could be a final test that's coming. Like, okay, you've done the shadow work. You've done your, undressing. But it says here somebody wants to make you feel weak, feeling exposed and vulnerable. This is the internet. This is my internet card, social media card rather. I was getting a message, but it's kind of like jumbled. Some of you are going to have to be mindful of who you entertain on the internet. Because you could be getting a lot of attention, especially with this Queen of Wands. This is a very good looking person. So you're showing up as a very attractive person who gets a lot of attention. But you are just going to have to weed out like the losers from the winners. Because you're looking for winners. This is winner energy, victory and success. This card talks about having pretty privilege as well. So it could be that you have pretty privilege and somebody tries to make you feel weak about it or make you feel bad about it or try to humble you. It's kind of what I'm getting. And it's like, don't try to humble me. They want to cut you a slice of humble pie. What's going on with the Judgment card and the Two of Swords with martyrdom? You got the Five of Swords, Golden Gate. Somebody could live in, isn't the Golden Gate Bridge in California? I think so. Yeah. I'm seeing the number 400 or 100. I can't, it looks like an address. Anyway, the Five of Swords. These cards are based on movies, but I don't know what this movie is, or like moments, because you got the bulls here. Anyway, the Five of Swords is already here. It's in reverse over here. That's what's so crazy. So somebody is trying to make you, trying to bully you, trying to intimidate you. Like I said, you're intimidating to them, but they're trying to flip it. So there's people here that want you to suffer for them or martyr yourself because they really feel less than you. This person could drink a lot. This is somebody with an ego problem. I see a cigarette in his hand as well. He got a mohawk, if that means anything. This is Aquarius, Venus energy. Some of you are blocking this person. This is somebody that wants to win at all costs. This is winning. So I don't know if somebody is saying you got an unfair advantage here because you got pretty privilege. And so it's like somebody is definitely feeling like they're trying to humble you. This is a bully. This is also domestic violence. It's abuse. It's somebody that got a mean streak, y'all. And like I said, it could be you. I talked about that being defensive. That could be you. It's aggression. It's tit for tat energy. Okay. Somebody could be facing judgment and karma for that, though, with the Justice card and the Judgment card, if they did this to you. Let's see what's going on with the Two of Wands and the Five of Swords in reverse. The Two of Wands is showing up as the Queen of Swords in reverse. Wow. Could be a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Strong Libra energy. There's somebody you're not speaking to. Okay, so this card can talk about unforgiveness. It can talk about malicious gossip. In the context of love, this could be like not wanting to forgive somebody. And so, like I said, some of your shadow work could be that you're realizing that you do hold grudges. I mean, it is what it is. She holds grudges. She's a very critical person. She's a nitpicker. She's a nag. She is also a gaslighter. So I don't know if somebody's been gaslighting you or this is what you're looking at in yourself. Because I'm seeing you do some shadow work here. That's why I'm pointing out some of these things could be you. Because you started out with this shadow work. The Queen of Swords is also scatterbrained, not being able to problem solve and think critically. And I already talked about critical thinking. So this could be a person who just kind of lacks common sense, or they're deceptive. Queen of Swords in reverse can be deceptive. So the Two of Wands, again, is being at a crossroads. This could be a situation where you can't quite make up your mind about whether you want to detach from somebody. Okay, what is going on with this Five of Swords in reverse? Because this is compromise. But this could also be the silent treatment. Oh, that card spun all the way around and ended sideways, which means you're in between. The Seven of Wands shows up again. That's here. That's defensive energy. Okay, so somebody's guards could be coming down here, because the Seven of Wands is in the middle. So that could be going back and forth. And like I said, the next stage of grief is anger. So some of you, you're about to go, I mean, this is very angry. This is bitterness. This is repressed emotions, repressed memories. Somebody that's cold. Somebody that actually is more emotions over intellect and logic. But at the same time, it comes across as so cold. So I mean, you might be getting ready to enter that stage. That might be what it is. And it might be just be something that lasts for like 2 days, a couple of weeks or so, and then you'll get over it. Because somebody feels like being with you is a vibe, but it says that you two have to work through things. And so this is about compromising and working through things. So you might have to get some anger off your chest with someone before you can do that. Yeah, the Six of Swords. This is moving to calmer waters. Leaving the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is here twice. The Six of Swords is let's move to calmer waters. And it looks like these people want to do it together. There could be a child or children involved. Could be somebody you're at a distance from. You got the Justice card again. So there's a karmic cycle playing out between you and another person. Yeah, you got the happily ever after card. So listen, I mean, it is possible. And then the Ace of Cups, you might be finding a new person, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. And it could be somebody at a distance, somebody that works in law enforcement or something like that, somebody that is very fair. Or your person could be wanting to come back and fix things with you. I feel like it's going to be months to weeks before y'all really get this back on the right page. But some of you will move on and date someone new. If there's a water sign that's coming towards you, if you meet a water sign, that's going to be your forever person. All right, y'all. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Leave me a comment if anything resonated, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.